me a second, I need to get my story straight. My friends are in the
So we are going to talk a little bit about the coronavirus. We want this to be your kind of your escape from what you're dealing with the coronavirus here in the state of Michigan. It's pretty chaotic. And you know, Ryan, we were kind of talking about how, like, pre-show, I don't want to say embarrassed, but how quickly it changed from we recorded on Tuesday night last week, and so much happened, and so quickly it looked like it wasn't going to be a big deal, and then it became that.
It became that hour by hour.
Yeah,
it was absolutely incredible.
And I don't want to say that we were embarrassed from what we said, because it was our true feelings. It was what was going on in that moment, but it just, if you listen to it now, we sound like a bunch of idiots, like no idea what we were talking about.
Yeah, well, so I was listening to last week's podcast today, and it was insane how little information we had compared to now. So I'm listening to it, and at the time, we're talking about, you know, playing Final Four games in an empty arena and how that would impact sports. That was before the cancellations, you know.
Yeah.
That was before any of this stuff started happening. Of course, it was announced the day after the podcast, or the day of it gets released.
Seems to happen a lot. It happened with D'Antonio
I know.
and the hire.
Our
for the
timing
Michigan
is
State.
brutal. It's
Yeah,
awful.
Tuesday's not working out good for us, but we got to figure that out. But so I did want to talk about, obviously, you brought it up, the March Madness completely canceled.
Yep.
I mean, that is such a big deal. Like, that is one of the, I mean, gambling is massive in that time. Non-basketball fans become basketball fans, and it's just a spectacle, and everybody loves it. And I'm curious what you thought about, I mean, do you think they pulled the plug a little too early on that, instead of trying to find a creative way to play it without fans?
I think they did. They pulled the plug on it, and they canceled it really, really early before we had all the information. So I guess the point of talking about listening to last week's episode was to say, I think from now on, it's in our interest to just kind of see this thing through and not really give a real opinion, because as the news comes in hour by hour, day by day, things are changing so much. Our opinions can change that much as well.
For sure.
And that quickly. So I think if we give ourselves some room to just be able to reflect back and then you know, I guess soak it in that way, rather than always trying to have an opinion up front about certain reactions. The only thing I think about the Final Four specifically and sports in general is you can't walk something back once you've made a decision. Once you've made the announcement of a cancellation, you can't just start uncanceling things, because arenas get booked, or, you know, it doesn't work out that way. You know, sports programs are designed for preparation, so they can't prepare for these things in the same way that they would if it was just delayed. If it was delayed, then all these programs might have, you know, something while they're in quarantine to send to their teams and still be looking at film. Right now, they're completely canceled.
Yeah.
None of that's going on. It wouldn't be fair to
Exactly.
even put it back on.
No, I completely agree. And it, you know, I think you feel bad for the seniors. You feel bad for the guys that are going to be going pro next year. I mean, I'm curious what you think about, you know, the senior aspect of it. I mean, do you think that they deserve a free red shirt? I mean, I'm curious of your thought, and then I'll give mine.
This is tough. I mean, the hard part for me is that I don't know.
Wait.
Is this a?
We're getting our very first live call, Kyle. You're on the air. I mean, we're literally recording. What's
What
going
are you guys
on?
doing?
We have Kyle Fossey on the line here.
Kyle Fossey. I mean, do I have to redo my intro now that you made an appearance?
You guys are live right now, huh?
We're actually live. Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm giving a call from quarantine to see if you guys are doing anything tonight. But I guess you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah. So what are you drinking over there in quarantine?
I have a little bit of vodka tonic going.
Oh, nice.
But I'm just trying to kill some germs. Just trying to, you know, I think that's how this whole thing works. So.
You know, that's actually a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
The more vodka, the more killing the germs.
Exactly. No. So everything's good over in the house, though.
Everything's good, man. I mean, we're on kind of high alert with Gus, with my son and everything, but no symptoms, no nothing like that. Just kind of playing it real. We're not. I mean, I'm going to work a few hours every day, but other than that, not a whole lot. Nobody else is really leaving the house, so
Well,
I assume you guys are kind of the same thing, huh?
yeah, I mean, we got a lot of table space here. That's what and honestly, Ryan and I were talking about how nice it is to have a full table to ourselves. That we might start making cuts and
Yeah.
and whatnot, and like
Oh,
having people sit
come
in the
on
corners.
now. Come on.
We're making cuts.
I mean, we're talking about it. Nothing's set in stone yet. But one thing that we were just talking about, we were talking about the seniors that kind of had their seasons cut short, if you will. I know being
Yeah.
a Michigan State fan, Cassius Winston, how would you feel like if he got a free red shirt and came back for a full another year? Do you think that they deserve that or no?
Boy, oh, do I think they deserve it? I think they do. I on some level, I think they do. But I don't. Oh boy, that's a tough question. Sam, I was texting with you about that interview I heard with Izzo, where he was kind of
That's right.
mentioning a little bit about that and how he's going a little bit stir crazy and cleaning out his garage and his closet and things like that.
Yeah.
Um,
His wife was so happy about this, I feel like.
That's what he said. He was hitting the honey-do list, and part of me wants to say this is so unprecedented. I think they do deserve it, but they got to play a whole season as well.
Yeah.
I don't think Cassius comes back even if you give him that,
Okay.
because he's going to finish his master's degree, this year, and I think he wants to take his run at the NBA. Now there's other ones who could possibly, but they did get to play a whole season.
It's just the postseason that they missed out on, right? So,
yeah, which is the biggest part, but
yeah. It's like on one hand, I look at it as the NCAA should give them the option, but then do coaches get that option as well? Like, do they save a year of their contract, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just like if you set that standard, like you're opening up a can of worms that you're messing with a lot of people that you don't really realize you're messing with.
I thought about the coaches thing too. I was listening to something where this guy was saying you need to the selection committee should have created the field of 68 because it's such a short band. We talk about coaches not getting, I think Ryan specifically has said this too, like coaches, it's a short shelf life. So for whatever a college whoever to be able to say, hey, you didn't make March Madness or you haven't made the tournament, I know they're going to take this into consideration, but at the same time it's like set the field, tell us who's in, who's not, is what this, I don't know if I agree, but that's what this person was saying. Set the field so we know who would have made it and who would have not made it. This coach could say, hey, I would have made it.
Yeah, and so that we were talking about that beforehand with do you think they pulled the plug too early? Should they have tried to find a creative way to crown a champion? Whether it's make it a smaller tournament, maybe 16 teams or something along those lines, and play in an empty stadium or something, like get creative and still have an NCAA basketball champion. I feel like there's a massive hole that wasn't filled with that.
Was there some way? My question is, was there some way to postpone it? You know what I mean? And
exactly, yeah.
Because you'd be at a disadvantage, but everybody would be at the same disadvantage. So, but they were saying too, as soon as Rudy Gobert from, I can't think who he plays for now.
Utah
Jazz, I think. Jazz, yeah. As soon as he had it, it was like, shut it down because players are giving it to other players. And, then Donovan Mitchell had it. And now I think just today, 4 of the Nets have been confirmed. And
Christian Wood for the Pistons has
Christian Wood. I think Steph Curry
Wood,
too.
yeah.
Steph Curry does?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Wow.
Yeah.
And I think so many of these guys are asymptomatic, so they don't even have symptoms.
Yeah.
But because I think they're very healthy people, honestly.
A little bit, yeah, I would say so.
Much more than me, I know that. So it's kind of, I think the president or whatever it is of the NCAA said as soon as he saw that player had it, that's when he pulled the plug. Part of me does think that's too early. Like you can postpone things. You can, the NBA players and the owners going to the commissioner or whatever it is and saying, "Don't cancel the season. Let's see how this goes. Maybe we can start playing in mid-June and we start next season a little later." Like, I do wonder if there are ways to do things.
It's definitely unprecedented. I mean, like we've never been in this situation. I don't know if they handled it right. I don't know any of those things really.
Right.
It feels like it wasn't, but I'm not gonna tell them that they did it wrong either.
Yeah,
at the same
I
time.
can't blame them for being conservative. They obviously did the right
No,
thing that
you
they
c-
thought they
you
could do
can't,
for player
right.
safety. Yeah, and that, I'm not saying that was the wrong decision, and really I expect this is going to go on for a little while longer as well. So it's not like the end is completely
No, that's true.
close
That's
to
very
us.
true.
So I don't think they would be playing this either way. I think it eventually would have
No.
been canceled completely anyways. But yeah, I mean we kind of agreed with you, Kyle. We were saying the same thing as maybe there was a way to just not jump on the whole cancellation so quickly. Maybe there was a way to postpone this, to wait
Sure.
for the details to come out. And I think that's where a lot of people are with our opinions on the topic, is we just want to see how it is. We're going to practice good hygiene. We're going to follow, the recommended methods to stay safe.
Yeah.
And, the social distancing and all that stuff. We're going to do that, and we'll just see how this thing plays out.
Yeah, as long as they don't
Yeah.
cut it to less than 4, I think our podcast will be able to keep up and running, which is most
I
important.
was just
to
going to
me.
ask, are you guys sitting right now? You have all that table space, but are you sitting more than 6 feet apart?
I
No?
would say so. We got about 2.5.
Okay.
I measured
think
it.
it is.
Yeah, we're 6'1".
Yeah. So we're
6'1".
Yeah, because
Perfect.
I laid
Okay.
down and it was pretty cramped because I'm pretty tall. So.
Yeah, he's
Right, yeah.
he's over 6 foot.
Yeah.
So well, Kyle, I mean, I'm so glad that we figured. Like, we were just playing music on Ryan's phone, connected, and all of a sudden you call. Unbelievable.
I'm just
that
trying to
it
figure
worked.
out what's going on over there. Yeah.
Unbelievable that it worked out this way. Our very first caller, the State of My Sports podcast.
You are always welcome to call, Kyle.
So we'll
I
give
love
out
it. If
Ryan's
I-
phone number so anybody can call anytime they want. And
Okay, that
Somehow
number
this
is-
just
that number
works.
is 616.
Yeah.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
well,
If
thanks for
I-
calling, Kyle.
Absolutely. If I
you
can
got
stay
more?
here, we'll make this a regular thing for sure.
Yeah, you're not leaving the podcast. This is your moment here.
I'm here.
We're
I'm
not
glad
letting you lose.
Absolutely.
If you were
I'm here.
If you were trying to get away, using this as an excuse, like excuse is over. You can't now. You always have to call in at the very least.
Right.
So
I think at the very least, this is a segment I keep calling. We're good to go.
exactly. Well, all right, buddy. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, guys.
If not sooner.
Sounds good. We'll see you later.
All right. See ya.
Kyle.
I can't believe the way that it just worked out. That's seriously.
It was perfect.
I hope it actually pulled in sound. I
I know.
have no
We'll-
idea.
we'll find out.
see. I mean, this is kind of a wait and see type moment. but-
Yeah, exactly. The same kind of thing, right? We're gonna post it and then we'll see.
Exactly. So I mean, it's affected more than obviously basketball is the big one that people look at because it's the big tournament. It's what we care about. But I mean, there's baseball and softball lost probably 75% of the season. Lacrosse is about done. I mean,
You're talking
the
college.
the spring sports in college, and I mean, not even talking about high school at this point. I feel awful for those guys, especially the seniors. But like, basketball is the big one that everybody sees that was affected. There are so many other college athletes that have been affected. High school athletes everywhere are getting affected, and that's what sucks. Is you're just canceling a lot of these guys' senior seasons, guys and girls senior seasons, and my heart goes out to them more than the basketball guys, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think the basketball or baseball guys, softball girls, swimming, diving, like whatever's going
tennis,
on,
track and field.
those are the ones that you got to give the extra red shirt to, and because this is their last moment, if you will.
And a lot of these athletes are trying to make a name for themselves still to get to the next level. If that's what you're striving for, I mean, a lot of people do commit when they're sophomores or even juniors, but that's not the norm. Most people, they still need their senior season to get noticed and get attracted to these colleges.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a tough situation. I can't imagine how I would have reacted in this situation if I was
Yeah.
either in college or in high school. Like either way, I would have been devastated.
Yeah, it
So-
would feel like the end of the world, at least the end of something. And I mean, it's affecting proms. It's affecting
Yeah.
a lot of people's senior year, which is just it's very sad to say the least. Obviously, other sports, NBA, NHL. It'll be interesting to see kind of how they step back into it. I know NHL kind of came out with a plan early May, kind of trying to ease back into it. We'll see. MLB, I'm not too worried about them. It's just. I'm actually kind of glad that the MLB is on delay because it's
Yeah.
like, let's get into warmer weather and see how that goes. And one thing that I want to bring up with MLB, and then we'll move on. I think we learned with basketball when they had their lockout, and I think they started like right around Christmas.
Yeah.
I forget what year that was.
Yeah, there was they played like a condensed 68 game schedule or
Yeah,
something like
and
that.
that was one of the most exciting regular basketball seasons
Yep.
that I can remember.
Yeah,
And I'm not
agree.
even a basketball fan.
Well,
it's like,
everybody, the ratings were up. The
Yeah.
excitement was there. There was more competition because people were
every game mattered that much
a
more.
little-
it felt
just a little
like.
bit more,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm curious. I mean, you're a baseball guy. Do you think that this could help the baseball ratings? I know it hurts. It's more of a regional sport. I mean, could this make the really long 162 game 162 game
Yeah.
season, like if you cut it to let's say 100 games or whatever it ends up at, like that would mean a lot more, right?
Well, I think the ratings would go up for a lot of different reasons, though. I mean, if we don't have any sports to watch for months, and then we jump into a baseball season, everybody's gonna be craving sports. They're gonna be into baseball.
Everybody's like, give me a little bit.
Yeah,
Whatever
exactly.
It is, just
and
give
they're
me
gonna get to
something.
the ballpark, and
Just
they're
give me a
gonna
taste.
Yeah. So I think MLB will be just fine. I think more than anything, this actually might show. I don't know. This might actually give players a little bit more of a voice to say, hey, we don't want to extend the season. We actually want to shorten the season a little bit.
Yeah.
And that would help the ratings. That would help with injuries. That would help with a lot of things. And I don't know. I mean, it might give them a little bit of leverage. I think with this, I'll also wait and see. But no, I don't think it hurts MLB nearly as much as all the other sports.